Hi, I'm Kim and welcome to my channel. Today I'm here to talk about worshiping with God, and it's about connection. And what that looks like is connecting with God on a deeper level. On different levels, we do that by obedience, being obedient to his word, being in alignment. And what that looks like is being, a beacon of hope for someone, being worshiping with God, reading the word with God. That means love, forgiveness, righteousness. He says, seek my kingdom and and my righteousness, and everything will be added up unto you. And love looks like when we love, people who curse us, people who, you know, might not, be so nice to you or anything like that. But we love everybody like Christ loved us. And sometimes it might be, hard for us in the beginning as we, been in the world um, and that's how it was for me, but I remember it was a time where I was able to love everybody. But as when I was younger, growing up and all of that as a child, but, in the world of chaos, you begin to, everything might not align like that, so we have to, you know, um, as you step into living for Christ, I've learned how to love unconditionally, just like Christ loves me dearly, and he loves everyone as well. And also forgiveness. Forgiveness looks like for me, it was hard, when somebody hurt you or, do things that you that's you going with how you was taught. Somebody hurt you, you want to hurt them back, or but I never looked at forgiveness as where, I never harbored any feelings of, for too long. you know I've always, I used to just, when somebody, hurt me or harm me, I might, be disappointed and be mad. But, before I was saved. But I've learned, through Christ and walking in the alignment with Christ and being obedient to Christ's ways, he wants us to live obedient. And that means love, righteousness, forgiveness. Righteousness is seeking his kingdom, living for him, our lifestyle, and being a beacon of hope to somebody. Kindness, love, gentleness. That's what Christ is all about. And I've been, shown how to love unconditionally and not harbor any guilt or shame or any ill feelings for anyone anymore. I've been shown I live in harmony and peace by me doing that. And if anyone out there who's, harboring anything, it makes us sick on the inside. And it makes us, and we live with it. And the person will be gone on, not even thinking nothing about it. But as we, learn how to, work on our thinking, work on our mental, emotional baggage, we learn how to, navigate life with no, the world can be chaotic, but with Christ, being up under Christ, we learn how to walk in it and be peaceful. And that's what obedience, that's what being obedient to God looks like. And through service and kindness, through our service, acts of kindness, is a big thing for Christ. We want to, and living in a world of chaos and darkness, and the whole world, I'm not gonna say is all, we have some good people, upstanding people, and very righteous people, and very good people in this world. But we do, have darkness in the world, that the enemy brings, So me living on this side of Christ, for me, looks like, having some peace in a world of chaos, and knowing that I am protected, as long as I stay obedient to our Lord and in Christ, and staying obedient to his word and doing service work. And as you do service work and you're being kind and kindness and loving to others, and showing, and volunteering, and all of that builds our character. It helps us to think better, to when we come up against oppositions and chaos, we already have a foundation of building character. Our character is what helps shapes us. And when we're faced with hurt, pain, things of the world, then we are already grounded. We're grounded in our love. We're grounded in our peace, and we're grounded in making choices, healthy choices that doesn't harm anyone else, and harming ourselves as well. And through our lifestyle, lifestyle changes for me looks like now is walking with obedience, with kindness, and living as Christ wants us to live on a daily basis, being shaping my life to walk with respect, giving respect to others, and showing some accountability for myself, taking an inventory of myself daily. If I'm going to, to making sure, that I am walking in alignment with Christ. And my life has changed for the better, for the good. And it was hard. I'm not going to say, because after many years of living, doing what the world do, but I know I wanted to do better. I know I wanted to do better. And I just, Christ had to show me how to live, and I chose to allow him, for me to sit down and let him use me, and let him allow him to show me a better way to live. And you know what? I haven't looked back yet. And I don't want to look back, because I like to live on this side, is I'm eating right and showing myself respect, and choosing me today, and choosing not to shrink myself today, and not to involve myself in negativity, and stay in positivity thinking. It's like me shaping myself, showing myself how how I want to treat, how I treat others. I want to be treated, and being, showing people a way of what I've been through, and has shaped me into a respectable human being today, that I respect. I respect myself. And I humbly, walk with love, peace, kindness, gentleness, and that's what gives me balance in my life. I don't have any thoughts of depression or anxiety, because when you trust the Lord and walk in His peace, love, and kindness and joy, then all of that fades away because He shields you. He protects me in my under His wings of protection, and I don't fear. I don't fear anything, because the dear Lord shields me. He guides me as long as I'm in His word. And obedience is a big thing. Being obedient, that means me being in alignment with His will, me staying in the word, me sharing, me helping someone, me giving kindness, love, showing respect to others, helping others, and tithing. He wants us to tithe when we, and that doesn't unnecessarily being in the building of the church. Tithing can mean donating, helping charities, cerebral palsy foundations, cancer foundations, much needed. Red Cross is much needed. Being helping, taking time out to helping. That's part of tithing. That's giving back. Part of what we give out. We sowing seeds. We're giving seeds of we planting a seed that it can so freely be given back to us from the universe, you know? And it's like, that's what I do today is I plant my good seeds, good seeds of goodness, kindness, love, patience, gentleness, forgiveness. I've learned that, and I'm grateful that I've learned that. It took a while, because when you things happen, you want to hold on to that, but then it take time, and as time got, I learned how to trust. I can't, I learned how to trust. But I take a, I just take a look at, my space, who's in my space. I just have to, everybody is not good in the world. So I just have to evaluate, who's around me and who's in my space. But it doesn't mean that we have to live in fear, of anything. We don't. Because once you have a relationship with Christ, then you can build, you can feel comfortable in the world of pandemic, of chaos, of everything. You can live with peace. You don't have to live with, any fear of anything, because you will be protected by Christ. And I want to talk about prayer. What prayer looks like for me is me waking up in the morning, and the first thing I do before I reach for my phone. But it took some time. I'm not gonna, say it didn't. It took some time for me to get in that, because when you're so used to, being on your phone, first thing you do is just like repetition. That's what you're used to doing. But once you teach yourself a different way of doing things, then you begin to feel better, to wake up and throughout your day knowing that you are guided. Prayer first thing in the morning. And then sometimes I wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning that the Lord knows that I have to pray. And it used to be where it was a duty. I got to pray. I got to pray. But now it's like I want to talk to God. I want to say, okay, Lord, I got to talk to you. Lord, in the morning, I got to talk to you. It used to be like, okay, let me pray. Let me pray. Okay, let me pray. It's this time I got to pray. Now it's like I'm learning, I've learned just and I have a relationship with Jesus Christ now to the point where I talk to him about everything. I talk to him about everything. And that took some time because trust issues that we build. It's just like reprogramming our thinking, and that you have to reprogram your thinking, and your emotions will shift the way you feel, and all of that trust will get better. Like I said, we can't trust everybody in the world, but we can trust the Lord, and to guide our thinking. That's what we ask for in the morning. To Lord, when we wake up in the morning, Lord, direct my path in the morning. Show me, be with me in the midst of it. Let my day go smoothly today. Give me some peace in my mind. Let me walk with me today, Lord. And as we go, and we could go anywhere in the world, we could go and don't have to fear. We don't have to fear nothing when we know Christ is with us. Once we know and we're trusted and guided and leading, and he's showing us, he shows us grace, and he shows us mercy, but we learn. The mercy is that we learn. It's not to harm us. We learn. Some people wonder, like, well, why God, why Lord, does this? Why he can't get me out of this? The thing is, if we continue, and the thing is, and I'm speaking to myself too, when I used to, as we get in, doing things on our own and stuff like that, and and then we say, okay, God, get me out of this. Why he didn't get me out of this? And if he comes and rescue you right away, and which he does rescue you, he comes to you, but it's just like us learning how, learning from that, learning our lessons when we, doing, not in alignment with God's will, and, learning from our lessons, I don't look at mistakes or trials or oppositions as anything bad. I look at it as life lessons, because it taught me how to be stronger and stronger, and I got stronger and stronger, and it builds it's the muscle in our minds and our emotions that makes us stronger, and it helps us to each trial know that, okay, and then sometimes we need the Lord's strength. We do need the Lord's super strength, and that's what I ask for. Lord, I need your super strength in this time of hour right now, because I can't do it, with any trust or any hurt or pain. I needed his super strength to help lead me and guide me to where I am now, to where I can say, okay, I forgive you. I forgive you for anything, for any harm. And I can say, it's okay. I still love you. I still love them, no matter what obstacles are in my way. I can say, I love you, and with the love of Jesus, and I pray for you, and I could pray for anybody now, and I'm grateful for that. I'm truly grateful for that. And I'm in the morning and in the noon prayer, even like I was saying, at 2:00 in the morning, I get on my knees and I pray, I pray and I talk to him, and at bedtime, before I go to bed as well, and that's staying in his presence. That's what that's called. Staying in his presence, knowing that you are, that I am, by me staying in relationship. That's what the dear Lord, he wants us to do is stay in relationship with him, to, you know, stay connected with him. And as we continually do that on a regular basis, then he reveals himself to you, and he reveals himself to me, and he allows me to know that he's there. You know, he allows me to know he's there and he's present, even if I don't feel his presence, or after a while, but I still talk to him because I know he's there. He's listening, because I can go in the Bible. That's where he meets me at, and through signs and symbols, and through people, conversations of other people, leaders, and he will speak something that, he will speak something. And the word, he will go take me, like I open that book, he'll go straight to what he wants me to know. And I know that it's just like a connection that I have now, where I know when he's saying what he's saying to me, and the connection is wonderful. I love it to know that I'm connected. And even if I don't, get any symbols, or signs of the Lord being there, but I know he's there. I still talk to him. And he's listening. We are taught that out of sight, out of mind, but faith, having faith and knowing in something that we cannot see, and that's where the healing comes in, and the miracles, and the his works of in your life, working in your life. That's where all of that comes into play. And we want to learn how to I didn't know how to read. I know how to read, but learning his Bible, I just read, and there are Bibles where, some people like, I can't understand the Bible. That's how I was too, until I had to learn. I wanted to learn. Once I got baptized, I wanted to learn everything that Christ, about how he communicates. I wanted to learn, was there any other type of Bible, that I can read to understand? And that was the thing for me. I couldn't read but there's a Bible where there's many Bibles where you can, now there's, you can interpret the Bible in English versions, all type of versions, but it's where you can understand it, and and when I read it, and after a while of praying and meditating and all of that, the Bible comes alive to me now. It comes alive to me. It's just like I can interpret it, and he allowed me to, and to understand. I ask for understanding and guidance, through his word, and he shows me, through his word, what it means, what it means. And so being, and living for Christ, I just want to say to anybody out there, that, we don't have to live defeated. We don't have to live in chaos. We don't have to live in fear. We do not have to live in bondage. We have to live in choosing ourselves and choosing some peace. And we don't have to stay in situations that hinders us, no matter where it is, and what is going on, and who it is. It don't matter who it is. That's what I'm saying. It don't matter who it is. You do not have to stay. There is a way out. There is a way out. And the way out is Jesus Christ. And I say that with a testimony. I do, because it ain't something that I read. It's something that I lived. And I live with no fear, no anxiety, no depression, because I stay connected to the source. And I don't have to financially worry about a thing, because I know I'm protected, and my finances come from the Lord. And I know that. And I live with peace, love, kindness, and I help people, and I help build my character, and learning how in working on my inside, not the outside, but working on the inside. That's helped build our character and shapes us in the person that we want to become. We could be anything we want to be. When I started to eat right, and then I began to think right, and then I had gifts in me that was sitting dormant in me, that I seen that now I can have passions and dreams I see a vision of my life that's just that's possibilities are wonderful. So I'm grateful today, and the Lord is on my side today, and I'm happy, and I'm joyous and free. That's all I could say, is I'm happy, joyous, and free. And when I wake up in the morning and I get into prayer to start my day, and I ask God to direct my path, then everything is truly, truly wonderful. And I say that. Thank you. Have a blessed day.